And so knowing in this infinite universe of love where I am an inlet and an outlet to that divine expression, I now choose to surrender into that possibility that the infinite potential of life is contained within me and is contained within each and every person here. And so I declare that whatever beliefs or ideas that I'm not enough or seeing darkness on the glass, I declare that that is wiped away today. That there is new eyes to see with new ears, to hear with a new heart that beats strongly, passionately, recognizing and knowing that this body is the body of the divine. That I'm here to show up and to be an outstanding, unapologetic leader in the world of love. And that I lead with my loving heart and soul in a way that nobody else can do. And so I recognize and know that each of us has been ordained today to step forward into this day, into this week, into this power, into this presence in a way that is so uniquely our own that it is celebrated and uplifted by everybody around us. I'm so grateful to claim that truth and know that it's already done. I'm grateful to see it, to feel it, to know it, to embody it, to declare it. And to know that the infinite universe that is everywhere present has already begun creating upon these words, that the canvas is being painted right here and right now before my very eyes. And it is a canvas of love, it is a canvas of awakening, it is a canvas of illumination, it is a canvas of vibrancy, it is a canvas of self-care. And it is a canvas where power means not overpowering, but empowering. And so I step into that truth for each and every one of us, knowing that we are empowering each other to be that most divine self. I'm so grateful to see it, to feel it, and to surrender into it, letting go of any of my ideas of what I think it's supposed to look like, and recognizing and knowing that there is a divine unfoldment within me that's better than I could imagine. More powerful than I could ever imagine, more spectacular than I could ever imagine, and I love being a part of it. And I welcome that truth into my life, into each and every person's life here. I claim it, I know it, I declare it, and I release this prayer knowing it's already done, easily, effortlessly, brilliantly, beautifully. And I am so grateful for that. And together we say, and so it is. Well, today I'm going to talk about painting, cancer, and golf. Aren't you excited? Why, yes. And somehow I will tie all those three things together. But for the moment, I'm not going to do that, just because I like to keep you hanging. So yesterday I was at an event with some of my friends. And it was really interesting because we were talking about the things that you can and can't do when you're either a certain, I don't know, background or color or whatever. And yeah, I know, shocking that, like, some people have the talk, like if you're a black parent, then you have the talk with your black children when they realize that they're not treated the same. And why is that so? Well, it's because of the color of their skin. It has nothing to do with them, but it has to do with the fact that they were born of a certain skin tone. And so I have two friends that they're married women. And one of them is from, well, her parentage is from the Middle East. So she's got an Arabic last name. And the other one is like super white. And she took on the other person's name, like the other woman's name. And so we were having this conversation about how they had the cement block in the back of their house. And one of them wanted to blow it up with explosives because she thought it'd be fun. Because she was like, I don't want to take a jackhammer. I just want to like find out, mix some chemicals. Like, wouldn't that be fun? And kind of blow it up and then have it. And so she was going to go online to look up, you know, how to do explosives. and so her wife had to have the talk. Like, honey, your last name is an Arabic last name. You cannot be looking up explosives on the internet. We're going to have the police here. Like, that can't happen. You know, the talk. So the thing is there's so many things in our life that we're not aware of. And honestly, I'd never even thought of it until that moment. Never even thought of it. So there's all these things that we are in privilege of, and then there's awarenesses that come into our experience about how we operate in the world. And the more I am in this teaching, and the more a lot of us are in what we call New Thought teachings, where it's ancient religious texts brought into modern day, so the mysteries and the mystical aspects brought into the modern day. That's what we call New Thought. We think about it in a new way. We bring it on in a new way. So the more I'm in this teaching, the more self-aware I become. So our theme today, well, the theme for this month is self-awareness is not enough. So I did a little research on self-awareness, and there's a psychologist named Daniel Goleman. Have you ever heard of that? Anybody heard of the book or the term emotional intelligence? Yeah, so he's the author of that. And in his book, he said that self-awareness is knowing one's internal states, preferences, resources, and intuition. And it goes beyond merely accumulated knowledge about ourselves, but it's also about paying attention to our inner state with a beginner's mind and an open heart. And that's key. It's kind of like step one. When you walk through the doors of a center for spiritual living or another center that's about living an authentic, thriving life, then the first step is to become self-aware. That's the first thing. And by the way, I got that off of positivepsychologyprogram.com. I always want to give credit where credit is due. But they also said that our mind is extremely skillful at storing information about how we react to a certain event in the form of a blueprint of our emotional life. So have you noticed that the way you reacted as a kid typically is the same way that you react as an adult, unless you go through some kind of self-awareness education and you retrain yourself into behaving in a different way? So, and that's how things are inherited. That's how abuse is inherited, because when you're a kid, you reacted a certain way, you got angry, you got mad, something happened in a certain way, and then you expressed yourself in that way, and you had a model of your parents on how to behave, which didn't necessarily mean you had a good model. Some people did, but a lot of people didn't. We're just saying. And so stepping into life in the big world, in the adult world, we inherit these behaviors in what I call, or what Science of Mind calls, race consciousness. It's inherited tendencies and beliefs and ways of being that happen. And the only way we can shift that, like let's say your life isn't thriving and you don't know why, well, you look within. You do the self-awareness expression. And you start realizing, I'm responsible for my own life. I'm responsible for my own behaviors. I'm responsible for how I react to you. And I know it's not fun for me to say that. I mean, this is like the real, I was like, oh man, that's the truth. Oh, poof, mic drop. Oh, you know. But it's true. Whenever Kathy angers me, which she never does. No. When Reverend Kathy angers me. But the deal is I'm reacting out of some kind of hurt or pain within myself. I'm reacting. So anything anybody does to you to anger you really has everything to do with you and nothing to do with them. Because if I were really centered and on tune and in tune, you know how you have those days? Like, wow, I am on fire. I know who I am. I'm a magnificent being. I am just thriving. Everything's good. And they have like little grumpy person. And you're like, I don't care what you say. I'm having a good day. I'm out there. You know, like it doesn't matter. Kind of, it's like you have Saint Teflon on your side. You know, Saint Teflon just bounces right off, just bouncing. You're just walking through a glowing light, bounce, bounce, bounce. You know, nothing affects you, right? And that's the self-aware state. But not just having that self-awareness. It's really important, because they say that it's the key to emotional intelligence is self-awareness. And it also helps us become peaceful and then proactive at managing our own thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. But that's not just, it's like, don't stop there. That's not enough. Okay, step one, self-awareness. Self-awareness. And then we get to act in the world and create new possibilities in the world. Step two, go out in the world, create new possibilities. So our theme this week, our monthly theme is self-awareness is not enough, but our theme this week is, what is religion? Now, a lot of people really don't like that word anymore. Religion. Oh my God. Like it kind of brings up a icky sense inside. And I know that's because many people in this world have been beat up by religion. They've been maybe even kicked out by their religion. You know, abused, literally abused, because maybe they question or want to know or don't really resonate but are still seeking. And then there's the anger and the upset because you're not doing the laws of what God said, right? Oh, that was me growing up, so I was a questioning person. I was like, I don't understand. I don't believe in hell. How can you say God is love? And then you're like, oh yeah, God is judging you every moment. Like, how does that work? It doesn't work in my mind. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. You can't, if you are the embodiment, the ultimate embodiment of love, you're never judging. You're never judging. So just so you know, a little cue for you, God is not judging you, ever. You're judging you. Humans are judging you. God is not judging. There's no judgment going on. But here is the ultimate key. This is what we're teaching. So Wikipedia, by the way, hold on the ultimate key. I just like torturing you. Okay, so Wikipedia says that there's no scholarly consensus over what precisely constitute a religion. It may be designed as a cultural system of behaviors, practices, worldviews, texts, places, prophecies, ethics, or organizations that relate to humanity, to the supernatural, transcendental, or spiritual. Like dictionary.com, it says, religion is a set of beliefs concerning the cause, nature, and purpose of the universe, especially when considered... Ooh. Yeah, I'm getting a message from the universe. Hold on. If anybody knows how to solve that, by the way, let Gina and Billy know. Wow. Oh, there. That's good.
Don't move.
So, dictionary.com, a set of beliefs concerning the cause, nature, and purpose of the universe, especially when considered as the creation of human agencies or agencies, usually involving devotional and ritual observances and often containing a moral code governing the conduct of human affairs. So that's what dictionary.com says. Now, whenever I look, this, by the way, we have 2 books. We have Book of the Year, Book of the Month. Book of the Year, Living the Science of Mind. Book of the Month, How to Use the Science of Mind. Dun, dun, dun. Guess what? We're talking about science of mind this year. 100 years of science of mind. So in the Living the Science of Mind, it says religion means our attitude toward God. We are compelled to think of the Spirit as either apart from us or within us. And if God is apart from us rather than a part of us, then our search will be to reunite ourselves with the divine source of our being. But if we can conceive of the divine being as already existing within us, there's no search necessary. Instead of a search, there's an unfoldment. An unfoldment. So this is the ultimate key right here. That, now I might use the word God, and I'm not talking about God in maybe the same form of when I was taught when I was growing up. So God, I was talking, was something out there when I was growing up. It was something out there that I prayed to. But I want to introduce this idea that instead of it being something, it is a principle. It is love. And this love is everywhere present. And instead of me praying to, I'm praying from that aspect of the divine. I'm praying from the divine. So the power is within me. The power to change the world is within me. Each and every one of us are like cells in the body of the divine. And if you don't want to use the word God, I don't care. You can say love. You can say quantum field. You can say whatever it is that translates to you, that is that infinite nature, the great creator of all. The great creator, but it's inside. And each and every one of us have access to it. Ernest Holmes says there is a power for good in the universe greater than we are, and we can use that. We're inlets and outlets to the divine. So it's like we're in that divine soup. We're in it. We have all of that power of all creation within us. We're a little microcosm of the macrocosm. He also says that life can only do for us what it does through us. So, let's see here. I like this. I forgot to bring a canvas, so then I thought, oh, I can do this. Here is a canvas. It's blank canvas, right? So, we're like an artist who sets up a canvas. Let's say it's on a shore. And we want to paint a marine scene. But because she's an individual, she will interpret the scene in the light of her own consciousness. She might think, oh, I want seagulls in this picture. I want a boat in the distance, a sailboat. I want children playing on the shore, and through it, I want a great sense of peace and calm. Now, I would paint that picture, and it would be uniquely my picture coming from my own set of beliefs, experiences, what I like, what I don't like. And it wouldn't be me like, okay, let's say the canvas is life, is the divine, right? It wouldn't be me going, oh, I'm usurping divine power because I'm creating whatever I want on this canvas. I'm utilizing the power of the divine to create what I want. I'm using it to create whatever I want. I have the power. Oh my gosh. I have the power. I'm sorry, I had to do that. Yes, I was. Actually, that was a He-Man. I know. I'm just little different generation. That's okay. I love you. I love you, Kathy, for that. What? Who is that? So, the beautiful thing is that we have the power to create our reality. We have the power to create our reality. So this is big news. Oh, that sucks. What if my reality sucks? Well, it's as if we are that infinite everything spirit, and sometimes because of how we were brought up or what we were born into or what society we're from, we might actually have like imagine a lamp with like a smoke on the outside of the lantern, or in the inside of the lantern, right? It's a smoky lantern. And there's smoke. So the light can't get out very much. So you're like, wow, my life sucks. It's hard. But if you wipe off that glass on the lantern, the outside did not diminish the light that was inside. It does not diminish the light. Each and every one of us is that bright light of possibility. And sometimes we need to have self-awareness in order to wipe off that dark area and realize that we are the light. We are the ones who are creating the new future. We are the ones who are painting on the canvas of life. Because each moment is a moment of recreation, where we get to recreate whatever we want in our future. We get to recreate it. And sometimes we just say, oh, I see what is. That's how it's always going to be. And guess what? You're right. That's how it's always going to be. Because you're recreating it. Oh, I see this. That's what I see. I'm affirming it's there. And then you paint that for the future. You make a new idea, possibility. But the truth is that we are unlimited in potential. And only our set of beliefs are holding us back in our capacity to heal and reveal goodness and light and love in the world. And sometimes I've said the cure for cancer is possible, right? The cure for cancer is completely possible. And then I read this article this week on the goodnewsnetwork.org. And the title of this article is Cancer Vaccine Eliminates 97 Tumors amazing success human trials start next week. So curing cancer may soon be as simple as going to the doctor and getting a shot. They've realized that injecting minute amounts of two immune stimulating agents directly into tumors of mice eliminates all traces of it in the animals. And by the way, this research was done just down the street from us, Stanford University. They're doing this. They started human trials in January. Yeah. I mean, this is happening in our neighborhood.
In our lifetime.
In our lifetime. Because somebody didn't think it wasn't possible. They knew it was possible. They knew it was possible. But you have to be the one that realizes it's possible. Because we're all connected. We're all part of this interconnected thing. It's kind of like one time my science teacher in high school, he was trying to explain like how the Big Bang theory went. And so he got a balloon and he had all these little dots on the balloon. He blew the balloon up and it was like the expansion. He says every one of those dots is a galaxy. It's expanding, right? And to me, it's kind of like the universe. We're all connected. And whenever one person has the idea to expand, it pulls all of us up in expansion. So when you start expanding, you're bringing everybody up with you. When you start letting go of those ideas and those beliefs that no longer serve you, you're doing that for everybody. You're doing it for everybody. So cancer, the cure for cancer is available. It's amazing. They said that the approach bypasses the need to identify tumor-specific immune targets, and it doesn't require wholesale activation of the immune system. So you know, I have had a lot of friends who've gone through different types of radiation, and you know, it's changing though. Instead of killing off everything in our body, it's actually utilizing our body, injecting just those cells to awaken to the fact that they're about healing. Because that's what our bodies are meant to do, is heal. And that's what you are meant to do, is heal. That's what you are here so you can heal yourself. And sometimes you might need some help. You might need some support from other people. But you got to be available and open to the idea that it's totally possible to be healed. Because somebody can't help you if you're not available to be helped. If you're not available to be helped. So even in this possibility, when you open that, so you're right, self-aware, the second step is to ask for help, right? To get somebody to support you, to get a community, step into a community where maybe people believe in it. Just like you want to believe in it, but you need to be immersed in that consciousness to know it's possible. How many people in here have actually had healings before? Yeah. Okay. How many people have had things that are like almost miraculous, like windfalls of money, or like just coming right when you needed it the most? Anybody? Yeah. Yeah. A job out of the blue. Yeah. I mean, just so all of these things are possible. So I want to tie this together. So we had painting, right? We had cancer. And the third thing is about love. Love is my religion. I know that when I'm acting in love, that I'm acting in accordance with the universal laws of the universe. When I'm acting in love. That's why it's my religion. We always talk about, in a lot of these centers for spiritual living, we say we're spiritual, we're not religious, because we're like, no, we're not like dogmatic, but we are. Because I encourage you to use love as the answer. If you can pass it through the love qualifications, right? If you can say, oh, well, what would love do in this situation? And you know the answer. Well, then you know what the answer to the divine expansion of the universe is, and the divine expansion in your own life is, because you know if love would do this, then that's love. So if whatever your action is harms no one, you're acting in love. So there's this amazing man. I discovered him this month. His name is Bill Powell. Now, I have a photo. Do you show the photo of Bill Powell? Brand new. Dun, da, da. It's coming soon. Bill Powell. So I've noticed that there's a lot of religions in the world. There's a lot of diversity in the world. But oftentimes there's not unity. And when somebody is standing for unity, it really makes an impact on me. Somebody standing for love, it makes an impact on me. Now, this is Black History Month, so it's very appropriate to honor a man who maybe you've never heard before, Bill Powell. And he was born 100 years ago, and he faced a lot of prejudice in America. He saw a lot of signs reading whites only. But during World War II, when his country needed him, he fought in World War II. And one thing that he did when he was younger, just before he enlisted, he was a caddy on golf courses. And so he was allowed to, after the closing of the golf courses, play on the golf courses. And he ended up setting up a golf club in his high school. I mean, he had this passion for golf. So he goes off to war, and he's in these countries where there's no segregation, right? It's like you're just a person. And so he's in these other countries where he's like playing on their golf courses and everything. He goes off to war. He comes back, and not only are our golf courses not segregated, but there were no golf courses where black people could play on. None. So he couldn't play golf. He really wanted to play golf, and so he really wanted to play the game during leisure hours. And the golf course where he was caddy at, whenever he went off to war, he comes back from war, he can't play on that golf course because he's not a caddy anymore. That's when they played after hours, So he even wanted to become a professional golfer. That was his passion. Like, he loved playing this sport. And apparently the PGA had a Caucasians only clause in it. So he decides, I'm going to build my own golf course. So he buys some land, and he bought 78 acres of farmland in Ohio. And in 1946, he began clearing the land. And he had to seed the first 9 holes by hand, because when he went to get some support from the bank, of course they're not going to give a loan to a black man, especially for a golf course. So he had to do everything by hand. He went to a full-time job during the day, but he would wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and he would work for hours on his land. And then he would go to this full-time job, and then he would come home and work more on his golf course. Because he was determined to create a golf course that was acceptable for everybody. He had a passion. And it took him 2 years. He opened it is called Clearview Golf Course, by the way, opened as the only golf course in America to be owned and operated by an African American. And of course, all races were welcome to play there. The public course expanded to 18 holes, and after 30 years of being in operation, fortunately, it was nominated as a historic site. When was it? Well, he first started seeding it in 1946, so he must have opened in 1948. Yeah. So he really helped break the racial barriers in golf. But it's like little people who are doing it in their own way. Now, he didn't do it and say, oh, screw everybody. He said, I'm going to open a desegregated golf course where everybody is welcome. And I'm doing it for what I love doing. Because everybody deserves to do what they love, and they deserve to be treated equally. So instead of all these people saying no and him just taking it, he decided to create what he wanted to do in the world. And that's your invitation. Maybe you're seeing, oh, this isn't right in the world, or this isn't this in the world, or I'm so angry at this in the world. Well, maybe it's your job to do it in the world. Maybe that's why it's there, because you showed up on this planet to do something. And it might be, some people might think, oh, golf, that's a little thing. But this is not a little thing. This is amazing what this man did. How courageous of him to step into his power and do what he loved and to stand for what he believed in. I really, really love, there's this article that I got this off the Good News Network. And at the very end of the article, it says, Powell, who passed away in 2009, by the way, he was able to change attitudes in Ohio and across the country. Because of him, golf was more than a game. Golf was a way to touch people's lives and impact a future. This year marks the 72nd anniversary of what has become known as America's course, where the only color that mattered and still matters is the color of the greens. So I want to ask you, are you willing to become self-aware? Are you willing to look at yourself and see where you maybe have inherited tendencies and belief systems that you would like to change? And you're willing to change that? Yes. And do you believe that you can paint your own canvas and create your own future? And do you think that what Bill Powell did is actually possible for you to do something similar to that? Yes. And do you realize that it doesn't have to be huge to make an impact? It can be everyday things. Do you commit now to start realizing that you have a light inside and that you're willing to shine who you are unapologetically? If so, say, I do. I do. And are you willing to step into your greatness unapologetically? If so, say, I do. I do. Well, I know that each and every one of us is here to make a world that works for everyone. And so I want to thank you for being here. I want to thank you for committing. And I want you to know that I believe in you, and I'm here to lift you up. And it's because of all of you. You have all lifted me up. And so I'm super grateful for you being here. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. See? Painting, cancer, and golf. All right, let's pray. And so knowing in this infinite universe of love where I am an inlet and an outlet to that divine expression, I now choose to surrender into that possibility that the infinite potential of life is contained within me and is contained within each and every person here. And so I declare that whatever beliefs or ideas that I'm not enough or seeing darkness on the glass, I declare that that is wiped away today. That there is new eyes to see with new ears, to hear with a new heart that beats strongly, passionately, recognizing and knowing that this body is the body of the divine. That I'm here to show up and to be an outstanding, unapologetic leader in the world of love. And that I lead with my loving heart and soul in a way that nobody else can do. And so I recognize and know that each of us has been ordained today to step forward into this day, into this week, into this power, into this presence in a way that is so uniquely our own that it is celebrated and uplifted by everybody around us. I'm so grateful to claim that truth and know that it's already done. I'm grateful to see it, to feel it, to know it, to embody it, to declare it. And to know that the infinite universe that is everywhere present has already begun creating upon these words, that the canvas is being painted right here and right now before my very eyes. And it is a canvas of love, it is a canvas of awakening, it is a canvas of illumination, it is a canvas of vibrancy, it is a canvas of self-care. And it is a canvas where power means not overpowering, but empowering. And so I step into that truth for each and every one of us, knowing that we are empowering each other to be that most divine self. I'm so grateful to see it, to feel it, and to surrender into it, letting go of any of my ideas of what I think it's supposed to look like, and recognizing and knowing that there is a divine unfoldment within me that's better than I could imagine, more powerful than I could ever imagine, more spectacular than I could ever imagine, and I love being a part of it. And I welcome that truth into my life, into each and every person's life here. I claim it, I know it, I declare it, and I release this prayer knowing it's already done. Easily, effortlessly, brilliantly, beautifully. And I am so grateful for that. And together we say, and so it is. Namaste.